Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Fandomology, where fandoms collide. And we are talking about Austin Powers tonight. Helping me do this, of course, is Lord Crit, the man of 1,000 faces and voices, and of course, the Pop Talk king and legend, my best friend, Phil McCracken. What's up, guys?
Don't cliche.
Did I do good on the intro? Or did I overdo it?
You did it good.
Okay.
I should be evil enough and make this a Caddyshack 2 discussion.
I mean, you theoretically could, but then again, we would have a replay of this moment because I am angry. And I'm angry with this gentleman right here because he tricked me into watching a terrible movie.
I tried to warn you. I tried to help you.
We told you.
Wow, my hair was short back then. But anyways, we are going to be talking about the first two Austin Powers movies tonight. That is International Man of Mystery and The Spy Who Shagged Me. Now, these were movies that were on my list, and I kind of knew going into these what they were going to be, and I got exactly what I expected and more. These were very, very good, very crude, but very funny movies. So when you guys first saw them, because I'm very late to the party on this one, so when you guys first saw them, what did you guys think?
I watched these when I was a kid, maybe like 6 or 7 or 8.
Yeah?
No, maybe younger than that, maybe 5.
Okay.
I liked them as a kid, and I like them now because they're just so darn funny. Many of the jokes went over my head as a kid, but I can't get over Mini-Me. I love these movies.
Yeah. What about you, Phil?
Well, since I'm the oldest one here, I think it was, what was it? Back in, what was
97,
the first one?
97 was the first one.
97. Yeah, I was 25. So, the time before Cash Money, just to think about that.
Wow.
Take a moment and ponder. But, yeah, I like Michael Myers from all the way back from Saturday Night Live. That version of Saturday Night Live was the second best version.
Mm-hmm.
So many great ones in there. It was awesome. I enjoyed the first one. Loved the second one. But yeah, I have no complaints about it. It's a movie that I don't have any complaints on. So, it's a nice trilogy. I wouldn't mind a new edition coming out. Not a remake, not a rehash, but a part 4. A good ending for Austin Powers. I would love to see that. But yeah, like I said, the first one was good. It had to be good because they ain't going to greenlight a second and a third movie like that. So,
True.
But the second one, for some reason, is one of the trilogies where the second one is better than the first. So
I 100% agree with that.
So,
as
and
far
I enjoyed
as
watching it with you today, so it was funny because I would say this is a good judgment for you, where you could decide and think about other movies kind of like this. Porky's maybe one day, Animal House, this can lead to bigger and better things for you, Paul.
That is true. Oh, and by the way, I told you guys that I went to go get a drink earlier. I made sure to get Coca-Cola instead of coffee.
Mm-hmm. you won't be touching coffee or anything like hot chocolate for quite a while, will you?
No, I won't. All right, so what we're going to be doing tonight is we're going to be talking about the first two of the Austin Power movies. We did not watch the third one tonight. We'll probably watch that one somewhere else down the line. But for now, we're going to talk just about the first two. I'm going to turn my camera off, see if that increases the connection. So, this is basically a very funny and, of course, very... I don't even know how to describe it aside from funny. Very crude, very lowbrow spoof of James Bond, where you have Mike Myers playing Austin Powers, where instead of James Bond being all smooth and charming, you have Austin Powers being... the only word that fits in my mind is a maniac. Like, how would you guys describe Austin Powers?
Just the funny parody of James Bond.
Yeah, that's pretty much the best way that you can put it. He is a funny parody of James Bond. And you see a lot of James Bond type tropes happen in this movie, or both of these movies rather, but they're made fun of in such a hilarious way. Like, for example, the quote-unquote Q character just simply being called Basil Exposition, and he's literally only there to give exposition to the plot. Or making the fact that James Bond sleeps with every woman he meets, making that like his only personality trait in this movie. So we start off, of course, with this guy right here, Dr. Evil. And Dr. Evil, you had a plan in this first movie
Yes.
to apparently
yes.
hold the world ransom for $1 million. What was your thinking behind this
$1
plan?
million. World conquest, world domination. Yes. It is most evil, like Phil McCracken's Caddyshack 2. Evil. This is an evil stream now.
This is an evil stream now. So the movie starts in the year 1967, and Austin Powers is sent to stop Dr. Evil from, and he doesn't know this at first, but Dr. Evil has a plan to cryogenically freeze himself and be thawed out in the 1990s, where he'd have a much better chance of taking over the world. And so we see Austin Powers pretty much in his elements. The whole opening sequence is just a ridiculous caricature of the 60s, and I guess you could say the counterculture type world that the 60s is often portrayed to be. Everyone's a hippie. Everyone's just randomly doing the twist in the streets. Everyone is, how do they say it, sexually liberated. And that's basically the world that Austin Powers lives in. And of course, he happens to catch Dr. Evil at a swingers club, and Dr. Evil only just barely manages to make it out to get frozen. And he doesn't just get frozen. He gets frozen and sent into space in a rocket in the exact shape of a Bob's Big Boy. And so you have Austin then get frozen, and he wakes up in the 90s, and the chase is on from there. And it's just gag after gag after gag from there. From fake outs of seeing Mike Myers naked to him taking a pee that should not be physically possible to just a whole bunch of other stuff. And I don't know what else to say other than it's all just very, very funny. So he also meets Vanessa, who is the daughter of Mrs. Kensington, who was Austin's partner in the 60s. And Vanessa, of course, is your stereotypical British intelligence officer from the 90s. She's very no nonsense, very serious. And of course, you have Austin looking at her, basically just wanting to take her to bed. And so pretty much the whole movie is Austin just asking, hey, can we? And she's like, no. Meanwhile, Dr. Evil has Seth Green as a kid. And yeah, he's basically nothing like his dad. I like all those times that Dr. Evil tries to bond with his son, be like, come here and give me a hug, okay? And of course, Seth Green's also there basically to point out and poke fun at all the tropes of the villains. You know, like for example, in the end of the movie, you have him pointing out how it'd be far easier just to kill Austin Powers while you have the chance instead of just sending him to the dungeons, essentially. And Dr. Evil's like, listen, son, I know what I'm doing, okay? I don't need advice from you. Or something like that. Now, the first movie does end with Mr. Evil going back into space and getting frozen all over again. Meanwhile, Vanessa and Austin get married and they're on their honeymoon, and yet the odd job stand-in for this movie, Mr. Random Task, he tries to attack them on behalf of Mr. Evil. And I wish I was making this. I wish there was a way that I could say this and be a little bit more family friendly. But, and I'm really hoping Mom and Dad aren't listening right now, Austin beats him using a penis pump.
Signed by Austin Powers.
Yes. That's not mine, baby. I swear it's not mine. I did not know I could do that very well. However, the second movie pretty much starts where the first one left off. And we find out that Vanessa was fake. That she was something called a fembot that got introduced in the first movie. And honestly, I didn't like that. What about you guys?
I mean, I didn't like it because there was a lot of development in the first movie.
Yeah.
But I think it gets a pass because the second movie's funnier than the first one. So
yes, the second movie is definitely funnier than the first one, but I'm sure there is still a way that they could have written Vanessa off without turning her into basically being fake. And maybe they could have had like.
Well, that could actually be a joke. That's actually a parody of James Bond because all his relationships they're never mentioned again, so it doesn't matter.
That is true, but then again, they could have done it somehow else. Like, say, Random Task survived, whatever happened to him, and came back and actually killed Vanessa. I know that would have been way darker than the movie would have done, but they still could have done it. But anyways, though, Dr. Evil's plan in the second movie is to go back to the year 1969 while Austin is still frozen and literally steal Austin's mojo. Meanwhile, he's building I got to turn on my camera for this one. He's building a laser on the moon that he's going to call the Death Star.
Yep.
part of.
Forgot to mention one of the best parts of the movie, Fat.
Yeah, Fat Bastard. I'll let that one slide just because it's his name. So, real quick though, there is something I've been wanting to ask you though, Crit. I know that Mike Myers plays Austin Powers. I know he also plays Fat Bastard. Does he also play Mr. Evil?
Yes, plays Dr.
Okay.
Evil.
Okay, I kind of figured. So, Fat Bastard is a hilarious. He is either disgustingly hilarious or hilariously disgusting, whichever one of those that you want to use. But he is a very funny character that they added for the second part. And again, just seeing that one scene of him in the bed is just, I don't even know how to describe it. But anyways, Austin, though, manages to time travel to follow Dr. Evil back to the year 1969 after he had his mojo stolen. And he meets up with another girl who is a spy. And they work together to ultimately stop Dr. Evil, while, of course, Austin's trying to get back his mojo. And him stealing his mojo, which in this universe, mojo is a liquid that you can extract out of someone like blood, that Dr. Evil drinks, and he becomes way more charismatic than he was, to the point of sleeping with that one German lady that he works with, Frau something, I think her name is.
Sure, she's German. She's not Austrian.
Okay, fine, fair enough. But yeah, it. Let's be honest here. The story kind of takes a back seat to the jokes. I mean, it's a good story. It is, of course, a spoof of Bond, but the highlights here are the jokes. So let's just go ahead and talk about the jokes. These, like I said, these are not clean, wholesome jokes. These are very dirty jokes. But if you can get on board with that, they are very, very funny. For example,
implied.
So what?
I said a lot of Austin Powers jokes is more implied. There's a naughty reference to it, but most of the time it's not actually being naughty. He's being naughty but secretive, but not secretive to the audience. When you see something like they were in the tent, you know, that thing. It wasn't naughty unless you were seeing from outside the tent, but inside the tent that wasn't happening. What they think you're seeing isn't what you're really seeing. It's implied.
Right.
And that's most of Austin Powers. That's most of the stuff he does. Implied.
Or another great example of that, where he's in a shot and he's clearly supposed to be naked, and yet something just conveniently happens to be censoring him.
Right.
So another great addition to this movie is Vern Troyer as Mini-Me. And again, Dr. Evil, would you like to talk about your relationship with Mini-Me?
Yes, Mini-Me. I love him so much. He is my double. He is the best. No one will. He completes me.
He completes
just
you.
like Cash Money completes Phil.
No, Cash Money complete Phil. Cash Money needs to be fired. What do you think this is? Pop Talk?
I mean, it is. I could always play. Hold on. What's a good? I could always play this clip. This is a Pop Talk classic.
Let's go while we're young.
Yeah. I don't want to. Let's not discuss that B-rated program. Let's move on.
You hear that, Mike? Phil's calling Pop Talk B-rated, and yet he's the king of it.
You know, when you're the king, you can call it whatever you want.
That is true.
It's good to be the king.
Oh, hold on a second. We gotta be playing the right music for the king. Where is it? Here it is.
It's nice classical music.
So, anyways, going back to the movie, they also have a lot of wordplay type jokes. Like, you know how in the first movie there was, and again, I'm not saying the actual anatomical term here, but you know how there was that one lady that was named Alata Fagina? And then in the second movie, there was the one that said, how did they say it? I love to hump a lot or something? How did they say that? In fairness, the Russian accent was very thick with that character, so it was kind of hard to tell. So
That actress, when that movie came out, was very popular, and now she just disappeared off the face of the earth.
yeah. By the way, you know who I first thought that actress was?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was China, as in Triple H's ex-girlfriend China.
Mm. Now she was in that. What was that? Third Rock from the Sun, I think.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, that made her really. She was very popular at that time, and like I said, a couple years later, disappeared off the face of the earth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you, Padawannabe. Ivana Humpalot. Thank you.
I think it's supposed to be with an I because I want to hump a lot. There you go.
I could see that. So, anyways, but of course, the best parts of this movie are Fat Bastard and Mini Me, and just the jokes get turned up even more with this movie. We already mentioned the tent scene and all the implied stuff. And it ends basically with time travel shenanigans of two Austin Powers is working side by side to both destroy the laser and save the girl. And Mini Me gets shoved into the airlock. There's a therapeutic scene at the end, of course, with Fat Bastard. And it's the classic line, I'm sad because I eat, and I eat because I'm sad.
But you skipped over the most important scene of all was the
I
Michael
didn't skip
Myers
it over.
fighting
I
Mini-Me.
intentionally left it out.
Well, that is the best scene in the whole movie. Him fighting Mini-Me. That is, and even Kevin Austin Powers salute him for a good fight.
Wait, hold on. Are you talking about him versus Mini Me?
Yes.
Okay. Then yeah, I did miss that one on accident. I thought you were talking about the coffee scene.
Well, I didn't bring up the coffee. See, you're hooked on the coffee scene. I don't know what's up with you in the coffee scene, but it's
You
okay.
started it, okay? You're the one that.
No, I didn't bring it up. You did, Paul.
Okay. Let's
You want some
let's
coffee?
get this out of the way. The
Dark?
coffee scene.
Do you like it dark, no sugar?
Okay, so you have to understand what's going on to understand the joke here, where you have the lady agent, again, I'm blanking on what her name was, and she has to put a tracking device on Fat Bastard, quote, by any means necessary. So what does she do but invite Fat Bastard to sleep with her? And it is just as disgusting as you can think. And where does she happen to stick the tracking device but right up you know what? And they later find the tracking device in a public subway toilet, surrounded by you know what.
Floaters.
Yes.
He left
They
the floater.
take it to analyze it and happen to sit it right next to a coffee pot for some reason. And guess what Austin takes a big old sip of?
It's a bit nutty.
Yes.
He
That
put,
is
at least he put sugar and cream in it. You know, that did help a little bit.
It is the single most disgusting, gross out moment that I have ever seen in a movie. But the moment that Phil was talking about, the fight against Mini-Me, that was just pure hilarity right there. Just seeing Austin Powers simultaneously whipping the butt of a midget and getting his butt whipped by a midget was...
That's politically incorrect now. You should say little person.
I'm still going to say midget.
No, that's derogatory. Please, yeah, Paul. I'm your friend. We don't want
He's
YouTube to come
a
after.
dwarf. You call him a dwarf.
You can call him a dwarf.
Apparently, you can't even call them a dwarf anymore. They're magical creatures.
Well, dwarfs has always thought midget was derogatory, but they're fine with dwarves. But nowadays, dwarfs is offensive.
Yeah, I mean it's got to be magical creatures that aren't actually little people. And Snow White can't have a prince come save her. That's creepy. Sorry, we got sidetracked there, but yeah. Mike Myers versus Vern Troyer was an amazing fight to watch. And of course it ends...
Rest in peace.
Yes.
Rest in peace.
Yes, of course. And of course it ends with Austin Powers literally crapping out Mini-Me out the airlock. And somehow he survives that. I don't know how. But overall, like I said, the story of Austin Powers, it is good, but really it's all about the jokes. Is that about what you guys would think?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, honestly, that's all I've got to talk about. Is there anything else you guys would want to talk about as far as this movie goes? Anything we missed?
Nope. I mean, it's a great series. Can't wait to rewatch the third. Third is not as good as the second, but I would say it's just as good as the first one. You know.
Okay.
But I think you would like it. If you like the first and second, I think you would like the third. You know.
Okay, fair enough. Crit, anything you'd want to add?
No, great film series, and I like it.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to open up the rest of the stream to open topics, whatever we want to talk about. We're pretty much finished at this point as far as I'm concerned with talking about Austin Powers, but I do not want to give you guys just a 28-minute stream. So we're going to open it up. In fact, I'm even going to make it open panel. So
we're gonna have strange people that we don't know pop in here. Like,
I mean, we've done this numerous times before.
I just want to say, you want to aim high and have your show high. You don't want to grab people from the B team. So, Cash Money. Don't bring them on. Don't bring them on. Keep it quiet.
The more that you slander Cash, the more he's going to show up and just...
He's too busy waxing his chin.
Yeah, maybe he is.
Wednesday night is wax night for his chin. He gets it nice and shiny, kind of like Matt Risman. You know how Matt Risman glows on the internet when he does a live stream? He's always shiny. Well, Cash Money likes to have his chin that way.
He did glow quite a bit, respectfully, Matt, on EBN the other night.
He told me his secret. Aloe vera oil. Yeah, he used aloe vera oil and aloe vera cream.
Wow.
So
I could believe that.
If you want to be nice and shiny like Matt Brisman, There you go.
Yep. So let's see. Last night was supposed to be, of course, Tuesday Night Trek. And I'll be honest, my procrastination came back to bite me because I waited too long to the last minute to try and watch the episodes I was supposed to. So that's why there was ultimately a Mario Kart stream last night. But I have learned my lesson from that. I'm not going to procrastinate on that sort of thing anymore. So we will be back with Tuesday Night Trek next week. Tomorrow, I know I said that it was going to be more Dark Souls, but we're going to move Dark Souls to Friday. And I think tomorrow we're going to try something new. I know I've advertised it as a mystery. The stream's already up. And I'm going to keep that mystery. Of course, you guys here in the panel already know what it is.
Skyrim?
It is not Skyrim.
You sure about that?
I am positive.
100%.
100%. In fact, it's not even a gaming stream at all.
Ooh.
Let's just say that it's something that I tried doing as part of a larger stream way back in the early days, back when we were still regularly covering Star Wars news and rumors. And it didn't quite kick off that way, but I'm going to try this idea in a new way, and we'll see what comes of it this time. And it's something that is either going to go very well or it's going to go very poorly. Where is it? I dropped a quarter on the floor. That's what I'm looking for right now. I'm supposed to have $1.50 here. So, Crit, what's coming up on Everest Productions?
Got some what ifs coming up, working on some audio stuff. My first 100K video, SpongeBob in One Piece, pretty much just grew in the algorithm. And it's growing. So, yeah, my channel's kind of growing somewhat.
Nice.
It just takes that one video, I guess. But I'm gonna do a few streams. I'm waiting for RoboCop to release. I might do a Let's Play or of that.
There's a RoboCop game coming out?
Yeah, where were you?
You didn't know? Where have you been?
No, I had no clue.
Well, here's what you do. Go on Steam, go to RoboCop Rogue City, and download the demo. It's free, and it's good 3 hours of gameplay that you can play around. Yeah, good game. Although Mike says it's not worth its price, I think you can get a cheaper copy on CD keys, but I'm definitely buying that game. Definitely
Let's
gonna buy
see.
that game.
All right, I am downloading the demo now.
If you've seen the first RoboCop, it exactly feels like that movie. So it's a very good game in my opinion. A very good demo. But I do agree it's not worth $50. It needs maybe $20. But CD Keys has those cheap keys you can get. So, that's pretty much it. Another thing we were talking about, I might talk about Phantom of the Opera. So I might stream a few performances of that in our secret bunker. But yeah, I got hours. I can talk about that musical for hours.
That's
pretty much what I got.
That is one of the most iconic musicals of all time.
People about it. Phantom of the Opera is a musical, not a play. It's a musical.
No. My mom thinks it's an opera, and that's not opera, Mom. It's a musical.
A lot of people make a mistake in thinking when you go to a play that's an opera, or you go to an opera that's a play. They're two separate things. A play is people performing similar, but there's no music involved. They're not singing to it. Where in an opera, the whole point of it is one big musical. You know, right? Not singing the same song, but they're singing instead of reading the lines. So
Yeah.
yeah. Musicals. You know, Phantom Opera is a good musical. Cats is a good musical. There's quite
Yeah,
a
Is
few
it
out.
any good though?
What
the
Cats?
Cats is
Yeah.
good, not the movie. Not the.
No, not the
You
movie.
shouldn't
Yeah, I heard.
rely on.
You
It's good.
have to see Cats as it is up close and personal. It's kind of like watching Paul, the equivalent of watching a band that you like on
Uh-huh.
YouTube, as opposed to being there in person to see them in person. It's a totally different experience. Um, a,
Okay.
a musical, I always feel it's okay to watch it, but personally, I think you don't get the experience unless you go to a musical. And you don't necessarily, a lot of people think, well, that's going to see an opera or a musical is for high up people. That's not the case. There's sometimes like if you're near a mid-sized town, people still have playhouses. I know where I live, there's a playhouse and they do opera and they do plays there. I'm pretty sure near everybody you have one, and it's not really
Yeah,
that
we've got one here
expensive.
in my town.
Yeah, it's not really that expensive. Uh, I like going when I was younger. I did go see a lot of plays, and I did see a lot of musicals, and I like seeing operas. You know, like I said, being an opera, uh, Cats, and I've
Uh-huh.
seen quite a few. You know, and plays are actually also something good to go see.
Did
The
you know I was in a play once?
no. The
I
play
was.
I
I
went the
was.
play I went to go see was what's his name? Edgar Allan Poe. They had three different plays of
Hmm.
his. The one where the guy gets sealed up in the cellar, which is based upon a true
Oh, that
story.
one.
Yeah, that's based upon a
The
true
Cask of
story.
Amontillado, I believe
Yeah.
that one was called.
Quote the Raven nevermore. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But the one about the guy getting sealed up in the basement is based upon a true story.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
there was a fort in New York, and supposedly this guy he was in the military, the army, got into an argument with a sergeant, and the sergeant ended up killing the guy. And the guy was very popular in his regiment or unit, so they got together, got him drunk, and actually, when he passed out, they actually walled him up in the fort. And it took over 80 years before they, don't hold me, that might be a little bit less, but around 80 years. And they're tearing the fort down. And lo and behold, behind the wall, there's a guy in a uniform. So, yeah.
Huh.
So supposedly Edgar Allan Poe heard the rumor about that when that supposedly right after or after it happened. But supposedly that's based upon the true story. So
I gotcha. By the way, I forgot to do this. So, the movie ranking for Austin Powers 1 and 2. By the way, Phil, did you see what I added down here in Guilty Pleasure?
I think you should take total trash department and move every single one of them into guilty pleasures.
No,
Every single one of
because
them.
no,
What
because
didn't you like about Red Sonja?
honestly, the actress was hot. That's about the only good thing I can say about it.
Okay. And what's there not to like
Conan,
about Caddyshack 2?
where should I start?
Yeah, I you know what? There's a group of people that have not seen Caddyshack 2.
You
Watch my
haven't
review of
finished.
it. That's all you need to know.
You still
And
haven't
I'm going to get
finished
together a
some of
watch
those
party for it.
Godzilla.
It's going to be
So-
Caddyshack 2, followed by. Well, I have to watch Caddyshack 1 because you can't watch 2 without watching 1. So Caddyshack 1 and Caddyshack 2. That will
Let's
be in the
see.
future. And Paul, you should be there.
I think I'm honestly not sure where to rank these. My gut is telling me put them in the good category,
Were you laughing a lot?
but I'm not sure yet. So what?
Were you laughing like nonstop?
I was.
Then choose
Okay,
wisely.
tell you what I'll do. I'll put them in the great movie category, but they're going at the bottom.
Still need to finish Godfather Part 2.
And
Yes, we do.
You might as well give him the trilogy.
No, we are not watching Part 3.
You got to give him the trilogy.
No.
Paul,
That-
good
that-
for you.
There's only
I'll-
one
I'll-
Godfather epic, and that's Part
Paul,
1 and 2.
I will stream you. You and me will watch.
All right, Phil. Phil, they have released The Godfather, the complete epic. There's no Part 3. There is only Part 1 and 2 combined into the one movie.
Paul, you have to experience 3 to understand.
No, he doesn't.
So I will do a watch for
Coppola doesn't even like that movie. He
If
only
they
made it
didn't
because he
intend it
needed
to
money.
be,
He
they
only
never would have created
He did
it.
not. No, he doesn't. He only needs to watch Part 1 and 2.
Well,
Paul, who's your best friend?
Don't listen to him. You're gonna
I will watch
a very,
3 on my. I will watch 3 on my own.
Oh, okay. That's okay. I can take that.
I'll watch it because I do genuinely want to see it, but I'm taking Crit's word into account and I'm not expecting much.
It's not as good as 1 and 2, but it completes the story.
Okay.
The story is complete in Part 2. There is no need for a Part 3.
Hmm.
There doesn't always need to be another movie. There didn't need to be a RoboCop 3. There didn't need to be a Caddyshack 2.
But we
There didn't-
love Caddyshack.
Allegedly, there didn't need to be a Terminator 3.
So there didn't need to be a Terminator 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah. At
There
least now
doesn't
we
need
know
to
for a
be a
fact there's
Fern
not going to
Gully.
be any more.
Doesn't need to be a Fern Gully. I'm a Fern Gully hater. Did you ever see Fern Gully, Paul?
Never seen Fern Gully. Should I?
Friend goalie.
When you have kids, you'll
It's
be forced to
okay.
watch Fern Gully.
It's like kids won't care. There was a guy that wanted to show the Phantom Menace, but a fan edit that removes all the goofiness and stuff to his 6-year-old kid. I'm like, would your kid care if you just because you think the Phantom Menace is bad? What is your kid gonna think that? Because for all we know, your kid might like Jar Jar and all that goofiness that you don't like.
Exactly. So,
In here,
like, are you
yeah,
really?
I got. I get fan edits.
I
think-
watched when it first came out, The Phantom Menace, and I would say as a whole, if you're watching 1, 2, and 3, it's not that bad. But a standalone, that's a different story. I wouldn't say Phantom Menace is ever intended to be a standalone where you can say, I'll watch one of the prequel movies and not watch the others. No. Phantom Menace fits the role of 1, 2, and 3. You need a beginning. And I don't care what anybody says, regardless of what movie or series of movies or genre of movies, when you have more than one part, the first one is always slow because you're always explaining, If you take a look at this way. Lord of the Rings, movie-wise, not the books, movies. When you watch the movie, it is slow because they're explaining everything. two towers can't be as good without one explaining, so that way you get to two and it goes a lot faster. You know,
Yeah.
New Hope is slow. If you watch A New Hope, when you watch Empire Strikes Back, you already got an understanding of what's going on. So Empire Strikes Back is more fast moving and more action packed. You know, you can't make first one movie too action packed. You know,
There is one series of movies that I would like to get in. In fact, once we're done with Godfather crit, I'd like to go ahead and get into these. And I'd like to get into John Wick.
Oh, that's
Wow.
good. Oh,
really?
okay,
Yeah. Michael is a very big John Wick fan, and I admit I'm late to the party on this one.
They're very good. They're very, I would say, bad, but bad, pretty, just really good movies. So the
They're bad but
definition,
good?
no bad. Well, it's a no word, but was it a no word?
Oh, content warning. Okay. I get it. Yeah. I mean, I can stomach that. No problem.
I'll take watching the John Wick series over watching the Bourne series. I didn't like none of the Bourne movies.
Bourne just
I don't
doesn't
like
look interesting to me.
the Bourne movies. Is just shaky cam crap.
Yeah.
There's always a series of movies. Not everybody gonna agree, but Bourne series for me didn't do anything. When they tried to redo, what was the one they tried to do? The guy from Red October, what's that guy's called? His character, also played by Harrison Ford. Can't think of that guy. They brought in the guy who plays New Kirk.
Oh, Chris Pine.
Yeah, he played him too as an earlier version. I can't think of that character's name. But anyway, they try to make a series out of him. I didn't.
Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon.
Yeah,
Lethal Weapon. Man. Lethal Weapon, man. I liked it at the time, but as time got on,
I don't like Lethal Weapon.
I didn't say that. I said
doesn't Lethal Weapon have Mel Gibson in it?
Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. For me, I loved it when they came out. All four Lethal Weapons.
Point Break.
I just didn't. Now, I mean, then I loved them. Now, not crazy about them.
Point Break.
I like Point Break.
Well, I actually mentioned this Ben-Hur. I thought we were supposed to watch that around April.
What, Ben-Hur?
I think we were.
Which Ben-Hur?
We never got to it.
Which Ben-Hur?
The Charleston Heston one. Okay. We don't need to watch the remake.
The other Ben-Hur, nah, forget it.
Yeah, we could. Well, yeah, we can watch that.
Also, after consideration, I have decided this coming Easter, it's time to finally sit down and watch both 10 Commandments all the way through, which I've seen the beginning of it, but never finished.
You never seen the complete beginning to end of 10 Commandments?
Never.
What?
But you think that's shocking, Phil? Here's another one that's really going to shock you. I have never seen Passion of the Christ.
You need to see Jesus of Nazareth. That's the
Passion of the Christ is overrated.
Yeah, Jesus of Nazareth is.
We can watch the Jesus. There's the greatest story ever told, which is more of just.
One has what's his name?
Not really that great. I prefer Jesus of Nazareth. There's Ben-Hur, which is very inspiring. I mean, those are movies we could watch around Christmas time. I don't think we necessarily need to watch them around April.
Got the whole holiday season, 12 Days of Christmas. La 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 la.
Is there gonna be bombings or showing a soldier getting killed in front of a live audience? Is that the spirit of Christmas?
Oh, la 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 la.
The true spirit of
Yeah,
Christmas.
you're going to get to it, so I'm going to bring it up. Are we going to start a new argument this year about what's his
Say
name?
it, Phil.
I can't even say his movie because I'm trying not to laugh. And it is Die Hard, a Christmas movie.
It is not, and I
It's not
still
a
stick
Christmas-
by that.
We'll start
It's
that
not a
argument
Christmas
next
movie.
Steve.
Is Batman Returns is a Christmas movie, and it came out in June or May when it first came out.
If Die Hard is a Christmas movie, then Star Trek Generations is a Christmas movie.
No, Die Hard's a Christmas movie. It's one scene. The entire movie takes place on Christmas? So.
But that does not
Let's
make
say-
it.
I will tell you
That
this.
does not make it a Christmas movie.
Die Hard 2 is more of a Christmas movie because it's also at Christmas, but it have Christmas presents and Christmas everywhere. Die Hard 1, yeah, it was a Christmas party, but it didn't have Christmas every scene you were seeing.
Huh.
Yeah. Die Hard 2, you had a lot of Christmas.
Another thing I forgot, we were supposed to talk about some Halloween movies this month.
Halloween.
Yes, I know you guys watched Nightmare Before Christmas without
We
me.
did
I'm
not
sorry.
actually.
No, we did.
We did not. No, I had things come up before we could start watching that. So.
Have you seen The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown?
Yes, I've seen that. I've seen Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, which personally is my favorite of those Charlie Brown holiday ones, and I've seen Charlie Brown Christmas. Hello in the chat.
Anonymous.
Die Hard was about Christmas. The whole scenario was based on the fact that it was Christmas. Okay, tell you what. I will give that movie a second watch with that in mind. And I'm open to having my mind changed on this. So I'll give it a second watch and see whether or not I still think it's not a Christmas movie.
It's good to see Anonymous around. Justice for Anonymous. And so glad that he replaced that bum Cash Money on 540. Hashtag keep him fired.
A couple movies on the top of my head. There's Tim Burton's name that comes up. He did Beetlejuice. That's one I have.
Never seen it.
Never seen it. Corpse Bride. That's another one.
Yeah,
never
Corpse
seen
Bride
it.
is good. Wait a minute, you didn't see that, Paul?
Never seen Corpse Bride.
Sleepy Hollow is good. Oh, he's there.
Halloween movie. Did you see that Johnny Depp the Sleepy Hollow?
Yeah, now that's a
little bit of it, but
Christopher
that's
Walken, yes.
Casper, like the '90s one.
He says, Christmas time, come to see the kids, come to the Christmas party and make up with the wife. Anonymous says, hail Trollman Phil.
That is, remember, Anonymous, I am the pop talk king and legend.
Yes.
They can say whatever they want on Pop Talk, but until someone outview me, it ain't happening. Not today, not tomorrow, not next week. Maybe they get somebody really popular, they can do it, and I'll hail the person. But until that day comes,
Have you seen the '90s Addams Family?
Bits and pieces.
Okay. Have you seen Casper? The '90s one. Okay. All right. And I don't think you ever seen this, but there's a movie I had chills growing up. Like, didn't watch for years because I was scared by it. Have you seen The Witches?
No.
Okay.
Have you ever seen Leprechaun?
You could be writing these down because we're gonna eventually watch them.
Have you seen the Leprechaun, Paul?
I have not seen Leprechaun.
No, we don't need to watch Leprechaun.
Well, yes, we need to see the Leprechaun.
No,
definitely the first one. Have you seen a Jennifer Aniston before she got a nose job? You want to see how she looks differently? Yeah. Has your favorite little Ewok in there playing as the Leprechaun?
I know it has Warwick Davis in it.
You don't need to watch Hocus Pocus. That movie's overplayed during Halloween. That
they
movie
need to make a part 2.
I feel no. Well, Hocus Pocus, I can watch it but it's at this point where it's referenced a lot, and I get tired of it. The same thing with A Christmas Story,
Yeah.
and the same thing with the Polar Express. Those movies, I think, are just and Home Alone. Those are my kind of most. I wouldn't say most hated. I like A Christmas Story, but I hate seeing it every day in Christmas. It's like my most loathed Christmas movie. And Home Alone too. I shock people when I tell them I don't care for Home Alone, and they're like, "What? You don't like Kevin McAllister?" And I'm like, I just don't care about that movie. I just
Yeah, I mean, I can certainly see why. I love Home Alone, but it's not that good.
It was good for the time it was made, but as years go on, it wasn't a movies or a series of movies that aged well.
No, and I'll be honest, when they couldn't get when they couldn't get Macaulay Culkin back for number 3 and 4 or whatever, or however many they're up to now, they should have just ended it.
You know, Orange Man Bad was in one of them Home Alone movies. I forget which
I
one.
know he was.
Yeah.
Anonymous says you're a
Home Alone
Grinch.
2.
Great movies.
Poltergeist. That's another one. Put on
Yes.
your list.
Have you ever seen Poltergeist, Paul?
Never seen Poltergeist.
You know, it's
Put on
just,
your
I
list.
don't want to scare you, but every movie of the Poltergeist series, I think the first 3, I forget the rest. We're not going to count on them. But the first 3, somebody from the cast dies. I mean, legitimately, real life dies. First,
Wow.
there's this little lady. She did a lot of movies back then, but the little character is a little girl. She's always the poltergeists are always trying to get her and communicate her. Run to the light, Carrie Ann. And yeah, but after they made the third one, she died. The Indian in that movie died. Yeah, there was quite a few people that look.
Arachnophobia.
Yeah, arachnophobia is good.
Wow.
We got a list for you, Paul.
I'm not yet.
We
We'll
got
see what happens.
meatballs. We got Porkies. Yeah.
Porkies.
I'm going to introduce you to Miss Ballbreaker.
Oh boy. I'm starting to regret making
There's
this
nothing
list
to
now.
regret. You're just going to be exposed.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We got these Halloween. So we don't need to watch all these Halloween movies. But
Well, you don't have to watch Halloween movies only on Halloween. You know, we got a whole
you
year.
don't.
Yeah.
You know,
But we
a whole
want you
year.
to see some of these classic ones like Charlton Heston and Moses. That's a must.
Oh yeah. I definitely do want to see that.
We got to get him to watch Waterloo.
Waterloo. Yeah, that could be. That could.
Yeah.
What's that?
Napoleon. And
Yeah,
Napoleon.
not the
movie.
one that's coming out, the new one. This is the classical one from the 70s.
Okay.
Yes. Napoleon.
Excuse me.
We got a whole. Yeah, we got a whole. I think. Besides Nightmare Before Christmas, I think the other movie I was gonna watch with Phil was Beetlejuice. So
Yes.
whenever you're
Yeah,
available, we can.
And I'm not watching no remake. No, that should be one and done. I'm tired of them going back and trying to get movies that were great, that are one and done. They should remain one and done. You know,
I agree. Like every Disney princess movie ever.
I mean, the only exception I'll give in a modern time, okay, Top Gun, but that's it. Stop there. No more Top Guns. That's it. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. I mean, most of the movies that I like growing up in the 80s and 90s, all the remakes they tried to do, Red Dawn, never watched the modern Red Dawn. You want to watch the original Red Dawn. That is a great movie.
I have seen the modern Red Dawn. I like it. You know, not counting the original Red Dawn in there, but yeah, the original Red Dawn is much grittier.
I didn't like when they did the movie and it was being completed. They went back because in the original intent of that movie, it was supposed to be a sneak attack by the Chinese to the
Mhm.
United States. Well, they didn't want to offend China, and they went back and changed it so it was North Korea,
Right.
who maybe in 1,000 years still couldn't invade the United States all the way from North Korea. China maybe,
No.
but the original storyline of Red Dawn in the original movie is more realistic. The things that happen is more realistic, you know, and the actors were a lot better, in my opinion.
Right.
So, but yeah, me and Paul, we're gonna get you, Paul. We're gonna get you. We're gonna get you some of these movies done. You will see Charlton Heston as Moses,
Oh yeah, I definitely.
and we
definitely
probably
want
should
to.
sneak in him watching Ben-Hur. Definitely, Charlton Heston's Ben-Hur.
What
Again,
Charlton
not the
Heston.
remake. Not the remake.
Charlton Heston, if I'm not mistaken, he was the one that did that famous NRA speech that ended with "From my cold dead hands." Wasn't that him?
Yeah.
Let's-
You never would know it, because a lot of times back in the day, Hollywood, they didn't talk politics. So you couldn't tell me, in your 70s and 80s, you couldn't tell me if Charlton Heston was conservative or not. It later came out that he was, but
Yeah.
back then you couldn't tell, you know. Actors act, they left their politics at home. That's the way it should be. Some of them didn't.
Yeah, it
Don't get
is.
me wrong. You had some of the crazy ones like Hanoi Jane, but yeah, you know. But hopefully, Paul, we get you to watch some of these classics. You did watch all Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Baskin Robbins.
Oh yeah. In fact, we covered that on the channel last year.
Did you see all Frosty the Snowman?
Yes. Oh, and Nanomas brings up a good point. And news guys didn't show their bias either.
You know what? To this day, I dare anybody that know who Walter Cronkite is. He was a famous news anchor. You could tell me if he was lean right or lean left. You couldn't tell me. Republican or Democrat, you couldn't tell me. Because that he only fed you the news. That's it. You leave the politics out of it. News should be political. So
Yeah, it shouldn't be. Well, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and shut it down for the night. So, tell you what, before we go, let's go ahead and make this official.
You do have to explain to the people.
How does
Paul?
I do?
Yes. You have to explain why you decided before you're ready to end the stream, you decided you were going to comb your hair and get yourself a little straightened up a little bit. Yeah, what's going on there? What do you got planned?
Okay. All right. So, oh wait, are you talking about that one thing I told you about?
I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about what you just did before you get ready to say we're going to end the stream. You just before you came on, you didn't comb your hair. You didn't comb your hair. Yeah, you decided.
I did this because I got tired of looking at it messy.
Well, why didn't you comb your hair before you got on the stream?
I didn't realize it was as messy as it was.
Okay. So now, before you getting off the stream, right before you get off the stream, you decided I'm going to straighten myself and make myself look good. That's a lot better, Paul.
Better?
I'm proud of you. There you go. And you know what? You look 1,000 times better.
No, I do not. That is a lie, and you know it.
I am not lying. You look 1,000 times better.
Yeah. In case you couldn't tell, I am trying to grow my hair out long, and I need to keep it better than I am.
Well, I do like that you're starting to fill in your beard. It'll constantly fill in a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, lengthwise, I'm okay with it staying this way, but to be less patchy. I guess.
Where you have that light spot there.
Yeah.
A little light spot. Give you a little hint. Rub it. It'll fill in eventually.
Rub it?
Yeah, rub it. It'll cause your hair to grow more.
Okay.
Good little advice.
Well, with that, we're going to go ahead and shut it down for the night. Tomorrow night is going to be Dark Souls 3 again. And
Will there be screaming?
Yes.
Will there be raging?
I'm going to be raging, yes.
And after the stream, you will say, Phil, I need to put the patch in there and get it the mod that has the easy mode so we can trigger cash money.
Anonymous says it causes your cheek to turn red. Yeah. But anyways, after this, though, what do you guys say Monday the 16th we do Godfather Part 2? Would that work for you guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Phil, I know you explained your point with those movies, but are you in or are you out?
If you want me to join you guys watching it, I'll go in and watch it.
All right. That works.
At least I can be there for the entertainment.
Okay.
No.
All right. Well, then with that, we're going to go ahead and shut it down. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure, if you haven't already, to subscribe to Everest Productions and Release McCracken. And
King and Legend of Pop Talk.
The King and Legend of Pop Talk. And just remember, everyone, the Force is family. See you guys later.